Today we're drinking a 1-year-old Mesquite Pear Mead. Welcome to the tasting room where we drink adult beverages
and judge it.
I'm Brian.
I'm Derica.
And this is one of our own. It was bottled on May 14th, 2025, and it is 1.024 final gravity and 10.5% ABV. And you totally threw me with your and judge 'em. I have to admit that. You got me. But before we can taste this, we need to pour it into glasses. So that means we need the pour cam. It looks like tea, kind of.
Yeah.
It's not perfectly clear.
No. But it's not disturbingly chunky.
And I hate to say it, but my glass has all kinds of water spots. You didn't see that, though. It's not chunky. No, it actually has a decent clarity. I would say it's like an 8 out of 10.
The aroma matches pretty much the description.
You'd expect, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, this was made with mesquite honey and pear. So it's not like aged in mesquite or anything like that. It was mesquite honey.
But
It does seem to have a little bit of the,
it's got the wood.
woody quality to
Yeah.
it, though. That's why we did that. Because when we did a mesquite mead,
yes,
we thought
pear. Don't know why.
it just came to me.
It just came to us, both of us, if I remember correctly.
I might have suggested it and then you agreed. I don't remember
Or
exactly.
vice versa.
It could have been either way.
Who knows?
We could have actually said it simultaneously. We've been known to do that too.
A time or two.
It smells.
Kind of reminds me of a cider on
Yeah.
the aroma.
It's got like that. What's the acid that's in apples?
Malik?
Malic acid. It smells of malic acid, which is like the harsher acid. But yeah, it has that like tartness to it in the smell. But there's almost like I hate to say it, but it's almost like a sickly sweet tart smell.
Yep. So I'm either going to really enjoy this or
Yeah.
probably not very much at all.
Or this is like midline. I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't remember when we tasted it the first time, if we really loved it or not.
I think
It was okay.
my vague recollection is that we decided we liked just the plain mesquite
Oh, did we?
mead better than the
That's
mesquite
possible.
pear.
It happens. You know,
But that was then. This is now, so we have to taste it now after it's aged a year. See,
life is
It
an
has.
experiment.
improved. Are you
All
ready?
right, I am ready. Ooh. It went pear-shaped
It did.
in a good way.
Yeah.
As it enters the mouth, I get a nice
feels-
sweetness and viscosity.
Feels like a pear.
And then I got pear. Just tasted pear.
Wow.
It was like pear with honey drizzled on top. And then I got a little bit more of the tannic aspects and the acidic aspects towards the end, which I like that. This is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much we loved it the first time around, like what the score was, but a year did this good.
I'm fairly certain this improved with age. Significantly so.
The mouthfeel on this, it's juicy.
It's like velvety.
Juicy is the word that I'm starting to use more and more for things because my mouth is watering even after I swallow. It's still producing,
Like drinking it gives you the sensation of eating a perfectly ripened pear.
Yeah, it does. Minus the fibrous bits
But
and the weird skin. I always hated the skin on pears. The only way I can eat a pear is to peel it first.
I don't like skin on anything.
I like apple skin.
I don't like apple skin.
Some things are warming. This isn't warming. It's almost cooling.
Yeah.
It has it's light and heavy at the same time.
Yep.
It's actually very difficult to put this into words. The sickly sweet malic acid smell that I was getting, once you taste it, that makes perfect sense.
It makes
and
sense.
It is not unfavorable at all.
It is not. No.
At first, I was like, oh boy, this is going to be not so great. But
It smells way more aggressive than the flavor profile.
yeah, the flavor.
The flavor
flavor's pretty
profile, I would say, is nearly perfectly balanced. It just the full sensation is wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, just a little niggle on it if I really wanted to be super, that guy. it could be a little bit more acidic on the flavor for me to give it a little bit more punch, a little bit more pop. But I mean, I'm really being that guy that's no fun at parties when I say that.
Yeah. Considering this is a pear, and
yeah,
I don't feel pear is acidic.
You're right. The pear might get lost if it was that way too. Yeah. And this is always the thing when it comes to balancing and talking about something after the fact. Oh, I could have done this, or I could have done that. I could have done that. Why didn't we do this? Well, here's the thing. You did what you did, and now you have the consequences of those actions. Had we made this more acidic, we might have lost the pear.
Yep.
Had we made it sweeter, we might have lost some more of the mesquite. Had we made it drier, we would have lost more of the pear. So all those things are what comes into play for balance. And at the end of the day, it's your brew. Make it how you want. But know what you're doing. Like, make conscious decisions rather than, I'm just going to throw a bunch of acid in this and see what happens. I mean, sure, you can correct for it, but it's one of those little things. Like, try to do it to the best of your ability from the start. Does that make sense?
Yeah. The mesquite is like a side note.
Yeah.
It's predominantly pear.
Yeah, it's a side quest for sure.
It's like you poached the pear with mesquite wood or something.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a caramelization. Caramelization. There's a little caramel in there. You know, there's a few of you out there that say it just like I do. You know I'm right. And I know, sorry, my Pennsylvania showing. And New York, actually, because there's a Mount Carmel, New York.
I am really enjoying this. And do you know who else I think would really enjoy this?
Your dad would like this.
My dad. My dad.
He's a pear fanatic.
He would really be like, oh.
It may not be sweet enough for him, but maybe. I don't know. It doesn't. He tends to like things that are sweeter and simple. This is pretty complex.
Yeah.
I think he'd appreciate it. I don't know that he'd want a lot of it. He'll have like this much in a glass.
So I feel like it's like a poached pear drizzled with honey, and somehow
somebody thought about wood.
Wood was involved in the process. Either it was a mesquite fire that it was poached over, so it got some of the...
But it's not really mesquite smoke at all.
No.
Mesquite has a very distinctive smoke profile.
Yeah. It's definitely more pear than mesquite.
Oh, speaking of wood, our buddy Ken from Barrel Char Wood Products is starting to put some of his stuff on Amazon.
Awesome.
So that's pretty fantastic. I have to find out more details. I think he said he has one item on there so far. So that way we can start putting links to it direct.
Yes.
Because before we could only link to his Etsy shop in general. Now we can put you right to the product, which would be awesome. But he's working on it. It might take some time.
Yeah. Then
just wanted to give him a plug.
Say Amarana's coming back.
Yes. He lost Amberana for a little while because of supply, and now it's back.
So yay!
So that's awesome. Actually, Amberana would have been good in this. Might have overpowered it though, because Amberana is like a cinnamon toast crunch cereal kind of smell and taste. That might be too much for this. I think, see, this is the thing. When you start to look at it and say, okay, how can I improve it? The trick is to improve without completely changing the character of.
I don't wish to deconstruct this beverage.
What do you mean?
Normally, when I get to the point where we're trying to come up with numbers, which is what he's trying to suggest my brain to be doing, is you start to deconstruct the elements and go, okay, is this note too much or too little? Is this flavor coming through? Is this not?
Okay, I see where you're going.
I'm really enjoying this as a whole.
Oh yeah, the sum of its parts.
And so I don't want to deconstruct it. I don't feel like it needs more acid because, again, the subtlety of the pear, I think, would be my side, his side, you know?
Yeah.
We can disagree. We can agree to disagree.
Did you know that the bubble moves in this glass?
It does.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's a free floating bubble because this is a little void in the base with actual 4-karat gold flakes.
One of our VIP admins, Adam, sent us these
flakes.
Love these glasses. This is the perfect beverage for these glasses. Good choice.
Yeah,
Good choice.
Thank you.
Matches them.
See, I try to get aesthetics in there when I'm doing the glassware selection. All right, where was I? Yes. Okay, so I feel like the tannins are just right because it has a really great mouthfeel, but it's not too drying. I don't feel like when you
not at all.
bite into
juicy.
juicy pear that you want a drying aftertaste. It doesn't do that.
No, this is juicy aftertaste.
The alcohol level, I think, is perfect because it's not interfering with my experience of the beverage.
Yeah, I don't really taste alcohol at all.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's there, but I don't really taste it.
And even though the honey note, at least the mesquite part of the honey note, isn't as predominant as the name may suggest, I feel like I'm still getting a sense of honey.
Oh, yeah.
Which is important to me when something is labeled as a mead. I want there to be a honey presence.
It's a little more like an earthy honey than a florally honey.
Right, which is where the mesquite comes in.
Definitely coming through, though. I would never say that this doesn't have honey character. It absolutely does. And at 1024, it's, for some people, this might be overly sweet. For me, it's just about right, the way this comes out. Now, something else about sweetness. Some people want to always put something to like 1.020, and that's always where they go. That doesn't really work, because if you have something that's overly acidic or overly spicy or really strong flavors, sometimes you need it to be sweeter to overcome that, to form that balance. Other times you can go lower and still balance.
Yep.
So it's not always about, just the same sweetness level all the time, because the same sweetness is not necessarily the same sweetness apparent in each taste for different things.
There's not one answer for all questions.
Yeah, I think that made sense.
Speaking of questions, now is time for us to figure out what number goes on this
You are
brew.
correct. Means I have to think about it. On your screen, you should be seeing our scorecard, which goes from 1 through 11, because that's right, ours goes through 11. But what you don't see is the 0 for those things that just absolutely suck. I'm going to go on a limb and say this is not a 0 nor an 11.
It's certainly closer to one end of the spectrum.
Yep. You could probably guess which end. A couple people have been doing comments before they finish the videos, and they're guessing what our scores are.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And Barry does it a lot, and he's pretty right most of the time. He's like within a half a point most of the time.
Barry knows us pretty well, so I'm not surprised by that.
Do you have a number?
I do.
I have a number 2. 1, 2, 3, 9.
9.5.
I couldn't go any higher than a 9. I think this is great. I think it's excellent.
It's a good drinking.
Yeah, it's just not quite. Here, you know what it is? It's not exciting.
Well, pears aren't exciting.
It's just not. And
Sorry, pear
I know.
lovers.
Okay, here's something else. Not every brew can be an 11.
No.
I just feel that way. Not everything can be an 11. You may strive for that, but you will not make every single brew into an 11.
But you can make a 9/9.5 and be really happy about it.
Yeah, I got no problem with this. I mean, this is fantastic. I think if we still have some left, which I might have drank it all by now, I would enjoy it.
I totally want Dad to have some, though.
Okay, well, then you might want to pour him a glass, because I plan on having this while we're recording the podcast next.
Oh, I see another bottle.
Okay, we
we're
have more.
safe.
All right. Okay, so we can finish this bottle during unpasteurized. Oh, no, it's the ferment station.
Ferment station.
Yeah. It used to be unpasteurized when we did it on City Steading Brews. Now it's the ferment station when it's on its own channel. You did know that we had a podcast channel, right? If you didn't, we'll put a link to it so you can go see that. Anything else you want to say?
That's another thing I want to do on our end, is make sure that all of the City Steading channels have the full channel menu at the bottom.
They do.
So everybody can go everywhere.
I believe they do. I believe I did that. I may not have completed it, apparently, but thought I did.
It's okay.
Okay.
So if you really enjoy pear with a lovely splash of
Careful,
honey,
there's some goop in the mouth there.
make this. And then set it aside for a year.
Yeah, the year really did work on this one. And we're going to be talking about that on our ferment station, about how to know when to age or not to age.
Yep.
I don't want to give any spoilers away, but that's what we're going to be talking about.
Yep.
But as always, guys, thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.